John chapter 9. As Jesus passed by, he noticed a man who had been blind from birth. His disciples inquired, "Master, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" Jesus responded, "Neither this man nor his parents sinned, but this happened so that the works of God might be displayed in him. I must do the works of him who sent me while it is day. Night is coming when no one can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world." After saying this, Jesus spat on the ground, made some mud with the saliva, and spread it on the man's eyes. He then instructed the man, "Go, wash in the pool of Siloam," which means, sent. So, the man went and washed, and came back able to see. His neighbors and those who had previously seen him begging wondered if this was the same man. Some said, "It is him," while others said, "He looks like him." But the man himself declared, "I am the one." They inquired, "How were your eyes opened?" He replied, "A man called Jesus made mud, anointed my eyes, and told me to go to the pool of Siloam and wash. So I went, washed, and received my sight." They asked him, "Where is this man?" He said, "I do not know." They brought the man who had been blind to the Pharisees. Now it was the Sabbath day when Jesus made the mud and opened the man's eyes. So, the Pharisees also asked him how he had gained his sight. He told them, "He put mud on my eyes, I washed, and now I can see." Some of the Pharisees said, "This man is not from God, for he does not keep the Sabbath." But others asked, "How can a sinner perform such signs?" So, there was division among them. They asked the blind man again, "What do you say about him, since he opened your eyes?" The man replied, "He is a prophet." However, the Jewish leaders did not believe that he had been blind and had received his sight until they called the man's parents. They questioned them, "Is this your son, the one you say was born blind? How is it that now he can see?" His parents answered, "We know that this is our son and that he was born blind, but how he can see now, or who opened his eyes, we do not know. Ask him. He is of age, he will speak for himself." His parents said this because they were afraid of the Jewish leaders, who had already agreed that anyone who acknowledged Jesus as the Messiah would be put out of the synagogue. That is why his parents said, "He is of age, ask him." So they summoned the man a second time, who had been blind, and said to him, "Give glory to God. We know that this man is a sinner." He replied, "Whether he is a sinner or not, I do not know. One thing I do know, I was blind, and now I can see." Then they asked him again, "What did he do to you? How did he open your eyes?" He answered, "I have told you already, and you did not listen. Why do you want to hear it again? Do you also want to become his disciples?" They reviled him, saying, "You are his disciple, but we are disciples of Moses. We know that God spoke to Moses, but as for this man, we do not know where he comes from." The man replied, "This is remarkable. You do not know where he comes from, and yet he opened my eyes. We know that God does not listen to sinners, but if anyone is God-fearing and does his will, he listens to him. Since the beginning of time, it has never been heard that anyone opened the eyes of a person born blind. If this man were not from God, he could do nothing." They retorted, "You were born entirely in sin, and you are trying to teach us." Then they threw him out. When Jesus heard that they had thrown him out, he found the man and said, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" He answered, "Who is he, sir? Tell me so that I may believe in him." Jesus replied, "You have now seen him, in fact, he is the one speaking with you." The man said, "Lord, I believe," and he worshipped Jesus. Then Jesus declared, "For judgment, I have come into this world, so that the blind may see and those who see may become blind." Some of the Pharisees who were with him heard this and asked, "Are we blind too?" Jesus replied, "If you were blind, you would not be guilty of sin, but now that you claim you can see, your guilt remains."